bakit po namin tinitignan pati private individual violators? It's because we are also looking at the how the government is fulfilling its obligations under human rights treaties. So under the international human rights framework, it's the government who should be delivering or fulfilling the human rights obligation. So pagdating po sa mga ganong klase ng insidente, we are looking at the due diligence action of the government. So hindi porket private individual yan, hindi namin iimbestigahan namin siya for purposes of determining ano ba ang ginawa ng ating estado dun sa krimen na yun. So, it's access to remedies, Your Honor. So, access to remedies, a basic, a fundamental human right din. So, kapag may failure on the part of, let's say, the police in investigating a crime, the government has failed in its obligation. So, in those instances, we can come in and suggest to the state that it's your obligation to conduct investigation and provide remedies to victims. And you should be doing something about it. Not necessarily determining that the state has committed violation in the killing, but on the access of the victims to the remedies that should be provided by the state.
While itong mga humihingi ng tulong sa inyo, the violators are government state actors or they're private individuals or both?
Both, yeah.
Both siya. Okay, all right. So meron pa rin tayong mga ganyan na cases in
Yes.
now. Are these committed by enforcers or sino nagko-commit nitong mga
Mostly, pagka meron pong mga state actors, mostly enforcers.
enforcers?
Pero there are also instances where the state actors are not uniform service personnel.
Okay, all right. Sige, I won't go into the details na, no? Marami kasi yan. And I also saw in your presentation, you also have the part of your prevention program is to conduct jail visitations.
Yes, Your Honor.
And how is it part of the prevention? Why is it part of the prevention program?
Actually, misnomer po yung prevention. It's actually a visitorial function, visitorial mandate of the commission. Under the Constitution, we were given the mandate to visitorial mandate for inspection of jail and places of deprivation of liberty, mainly because of torture prevention. So, kaya po siya part ng mandate namin because it's given by the Constitution. And tapos, bukod pa ho dun sa mandate provided by the Constitution under international, we are also, that the state is also a signatory to the Convention Against Torture, as well as the optional protocol on the Convention Against Torture. So, kasama po sa minomonitor ng komisyon ang pagtupad ng ating pamahalaan doon sa kanyang obligasyon under the Convention Against Torture.
And then you said that there are still incidents of torture inside our itong mga detention facilities and jail facilities.
Yes.
Meron pa rin.
May mga cases po na
conducted by the PDLs or conducted by
may mga instances po,
non-PDLs?
may mga instances where the jail administrators themselves are the perpetrator. At meron naman po mga instances where the perpetrators are fellow PDLs.
So itong program na ito, itong prevention program is really to prevent torture.
It's to prevent torture. Kasi ayaw naman po namin meron kaming inimbestigahan na actual na torture. Ayaw namin po yun.
But outside the jail system, meron pa ba? Dati may pogo, diba?
Sa mga rehabilitation.
Pogo sa Pampanga, sa Porac. Diba? Obviously may torture.
Kasama po sa mga
Pero ngayon wala ng pogo. So other than yung mga detention facilities natin? Meron pa bang iba?
When we speak of places of deprivation of liberty, Your Honor, we are referring not only to jails.
Okay.
We are also referring to mental health facilities because we were given a mandate under the mental health law. Tapos kasama po dyan yung other rehabilitation centers. Ano yung sa bata? Sa bahay Kalinga. Tama ba? Bahay, sa mga child caring facilities. Bahay Pag-asa, I mean. Ano pa ba? So, hindi po siya limitado lamang sa jail. May dagdag ko lamang po, Mr. Chair, that yung aming prevention mandate, bukod ho sa Constitution and international instruments that I already cited, there is also a law, there are also laws providing the Commission these mandates, particularly the anti-torture law, as well as the anti-enforced disappearance law, where the Commission on Human Rights is given the mandate to inspect places of deprivation of liberty.
So that's but the purpose of that is to prevent mga torture, make sure that their living conditions are
Yes, yeah.
Up to standards.
Yes.
And then they're even though they're persons deprived of liberty, they're treated with dignity and with standard care.
Yes,
Or the standard of human rights care.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Ano ba ang Chairman, right now, I know we did discuss about the cases, but in your opinion, what is the most pressing human rights issue now, no, in the Philippines?
Marami po actually. Kung
In a snapshot.
kung titignan po natin yung international recommendations, we have to go back to the UPR, Universal Periodic Review of the Philippines, the treaty body recommendations, as well as the recommendations of the Special Rapporteur. Kung babalikan po natin yung mga yon, kasi sila po ay mga mekanismo ng karapatang pantao kung saan nire-review yung sitwasyon ng ating bansa. Lalabas po doon na ang mga primary concerns pa rin ay civic space, and by civic space we mean the threats, harassment to human rights defenders, human rights advocates. Marami rin po yung mga killings at may mga claims of enforced disappearances. We also have gender-based violence, child rights violations, at marami pa pong iba. Depende po kasi sa kung titignan nyo po yung ating nabanggit kong mga recommendations coming from the international mechanisms. Ito po yung mga common na lumalabas na mga issues sa ating bansa. And we also observed the similar number in terms of our cases.
Ito yung mga mga nakikita natin, gender-based violence is now becoming an issue, human rights
One of the main issues palagi po yan, lumalabas sa mga reviews and actually pati sa aming mga case records, isa sa mga pinaka-pressing issue ang gender-based violence.
What else ang pressing issue?
Mostly civil rights, Your Honor. If we look at the ILO, sa labor po, yung freedom of association, right to organize, isa sa mga issues na ni-raise ng ILO mission yan.
Hanggang ngayon?
Opo, pero we are working with the Department of Labor, the labor sector as well as the employers to address this issue. Tapos we also have
I thought like sa Valenzuela, well, ngayon bumabam na yung incidents of strikes, but wala naman akong naririnig na mayroong
bumababa, maari pong bumababa
pine-prevent sila
kasi-
ng freedom of association and expressing their opinion.
Yes, but ito po yung mga lumabas na isa sa mga issues during the ILO tripartite mission. But luckily, the sectors, the stakeholders like the Department of Labor, the labor group, as well as the employer group are working together to address the issue. At natutugunan po. Ngayon, yung sa iba pong mga kaso na tinatanong po ninyo, we observe yung child-related cases, gender-related cases, as well as civil rights cases.
Nandito ba yun? Kasi very strict yung mga international bodies eh. Like for example, yung 'di ba meron tayong yung GSP Plus
Yes, yeah.
sa Europe which is connected to our human rights
Yeah.
advocacy.
Yes.
In fact, I went there alam ba niya, a few years ago to nag-organize in Senate ng delegation to go there to talk to some legislators ng EU to convince them kasi that time mag-expire na siya eh. No, so to convince them to extend it and then because of the kagaya ng sinabi niyo, bumababa yung number of cases, nag-improve yung situation, na-extend naman. No? So nakita natin yung standards for human rights in Europe is very high, no?
Yes, yeah.
Oo. And in your opinion, are we based on those international standards? Sabi niyo kanina, we're not yet there. Hindi pa tayo up to their standards, up to international standards in terms of human rights.
Medyo mahirap po yung tanong ninyo kasi sa lawak po niya. Kasi kung titignan po natin on the part of the compliance of the government as to the treaty obligations, meron pa rin po tayong mga ilan na hindi na nasasagot, natutugunan, like yun pong National Preventive Mechanism under the Optional Protocol on the Convention Against Torture. Ito po ay tratado na pinirmahan ng ating bansa 2014 or 2012. Ito po ay nagre-require na mag-designate ang ating bansa ng National Preventive Mechanism. So more than a decade already passed, wala pa rin po natatalagang National Preventive Mechanism. And we're trying to lobby the House of Representatives as well as the Senate for the passage of this law. But generally, yes, there is improvement on the situation, on the human rights situation in the Philippines. So, yun po.
So how many treaty obligations do we have that's related to human
We have
rights?
7 major eight human rights treaties. It's the International Covenant on Civil Political Rights, International Covenant on Economic, Social, Cultural Rights, Convention Against Torture, Convention on the Rights of the Child, Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, Convention on the Rights of Migrant Workers, Convention on Persons with Disabilities, and the last is the Convention Against Enforced Disappearance. Sa 8 pong yaan, ito pong convention